What's up, my explosive athletes and vertical jump enthusiasts? Today we're going to go over the 3 different types of tissues that are most commonly injured, seem hard to rehab from, cause pain, and are directly related to athletic performance. These are ligaments, tendons, and muscular extracellular matrix. Most people don't know that these connective tissues have very active communication pathways with the brain and central nervous system. Because of the complexities of the neurology of vertical jumping, I'm going to be giving out all this information in subsequent videos, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. So let's consider what these types of connective tissues actually do. Ligaments connect bone to bone, or something stiff to something else that's stiff. Therefore, when they do their job properly, the stiffer the ligament is, the better their performance. Tendons connect muscle to bone, or something compliant to something stiff. When a neuromuscular connection is not there, the muscle behaves extremely stiff. And finally, the muscular extracellular matrix are those little layers that you see in different charts of muscles that surround the different fibers of the muscle and the bundle itself. They're called the epimysium, perimysium, and endomysium. Now, combining art with science is where the magic happens, and that has to do with experience plus knowledge. Because the type of stimulation you need in order to develop healthy tissues is not the same type of stimulation you need to develop fast and explosive tissues. Since the tendon has a very stiff side to it and a very compliant side to it, explaining the different type of stimulation you need to strengthen one side or the other on the tendon will help you decide what type of stimulus or training you need to do for any other type of specific tissue. To explain how a tendon can behave like a liquid, imagine submerging yourself slowly into a pool of water. This gives enough time for the water molecules to surround and move about you so that you barely feel any resistance. The faster you move into the water, the more resistance you will feel. And if you crash into the water, you start hitting it because it doesn't give the molecules of water enough time to dissipate. And if you dropped from a height that's high enough into water, you could pretty much feel it the same way you would feel dropping into cement. When looking into the tendon, the closer you are to the muscle side, the more compliant the tissue in that tendon is. This is because near the muscular tendinous junction, or closer to the muscle side, you have shear forces that take place, which allow more compliancy in the tissue. Now, the closer you look towards the bone side, or where the tendon attaches to the bone, the stiffer the tendon is. And this is because these cross-link bridges of collagen tend to stay unbroken, and so they remain stiff and rigid. Shear forces are gliding forces that take place when cross bridges on fibers or connective tissue start to break. And when they break, you can allow these shear forces to take place. The breaking of these crosslinks is what gives the compliancy or the elastic component to the tissue. Therefore, the less collagen crosslinks the tissue has, the more elastic it becomes. The level of rigidity in a tissue could be further explained by, let's say, picturing a strong man pulling a truck, right? And so the strong man would be like the muscle and the truck would be like your bone. And whatever we use in between would be the tendon. Now, if the strong man was connected to the truck with a strong enough elastic band, what you'll see is that when the strong man starts moving, it'll take time for the transfer of force and then that recoil until the truck starts to move. So there would be a time delay between the application of force and the time you see the force implemented onto the object. Now, if we take the same strong man with a rope, you'll see that when he starts to pull, the rope stretches a little bit, but then the truck comes in a little faster. The fastest response from when the strong man starts pulling on the truck would be if we tied the strong man with an iron rod to the truck, then the transfer of force will almost be immediate. And as soon as the strong man starts to pull, the truck would move. This is why understanding science will help you apply it to the principles in sports performance, because a stiffer tendon would transfer forces quicker than a more elastic tendon. But there's a catch to this, because a healthier tendon is more compliant and a performance or explosive tendon is more stiff. So then how and when and where should you apply the different stimulus for both is where the art, the science, and individuality come in. We'll dive a little bit deeper and understand this a little bit better in the next video.